You know, I wonder how far MAGA's denial can go. We haven't even reached a full proper month of this man's foolishness, and despite that fact, Donald Trump has found a way to sow the seeds of nothing but chaos, confusion, and destruction. So, Trump's minions do as they do, and they have now introduced a bill to cut spending on those pesky, annoying safety net things like Medicaid, food assistance. They're firing all these federal workers. Really just nasty, icky stuff like taking care of the American people. Real nasty. Ugh. Don't like it. They do, however, have a plan to extend the 2017 tax cuts for the rich. A 2017 tax cut for the rich. See, their bill, according to CBS News, is a budget proposal that says the House Ways and Means Committee can pursue up to $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and sets a goal of cutting mandatory spending by $2 trillion. But it would also increase the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. Now understand how they're managing the money in spite of the fact that they're still going to raise the debt. These people don't want to tax the rich at all. They don't want to increase taxes on the rich. Come to find out, they were about to spend $400 million on armored Teslas until it leaked out to the public. Then they canceled it. That's what we're dealing with here. These people don't want to tax the rich, don't want to spend money on the American people. Instead, they would like to cut taxes for the ultra wealthy and spend money on things to enrich their, billionaire buddies in certain industries and sectors. That's what these people are doing with your money and your time. According to Politico, Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House, Johnson's most immediate problem comes from swing district Republicans who believe that the steep spending cuts Johnson wants across Medicaid, food assistance, and other safety net programs for low-income Americans could cost them their seats. And Johnson his razor-thin GOP majority. Now, here's the thing. I don't believe there are going to be free and fair elections anymore. I don't believe that free and fair elections will take place from the presidency all the way down to the lowest House seat possible. These people refuse to lose even if they actually lose. These people aren't even concerned about they're not worried about, the people in my district might starve. They might get sick and die. They might get injured and go bankrupt. They don't care. Their first thought is, I might not win again. I might lose my power. I might lose my influence. That's the first thing they think about. These people don't even think about the lives of their constituents. The first thing on their mind is power. Republican voters understand and realize you are getting exactly what you voted for. Donald Trump and his people have been running on a campaign of hurting the poor, hurting the unfortunate, hurting the unlucky, hurting those in pain, hurting those in struggle, hurting all of those people has always been their platform. They don't believe in taxing the rich. They believe in taxing yo punk ass. Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump sat there and lied up and down about how he was going to cut taxes or no taxes on tips. No taxes on Social Security, no taxes on this, no taxes on that, no taxes on overtime. Isn't it really weird how none of those things have made their way into this bill? I guess if you just remove Social Security altogether, you don't really have to tax it. If you just don't even acknowledge overtime at all, you don't even allow overtime, it doesn't really exist. You don't need to tax something that isn't there, right? You just don't have to. This is the reality of what we are dealing with. These people are deranged and insane. And the good thing is, they're so stupid. If they were smart, they'd do these evil things slowly. They'd be legitimizing the evil. Instead, they can't wait. They're just sitting with bated breath, ready to destroy everything. Donald Trump supporters need to realize and understand. Trump's supporters need to realize and understand. That cut in Medicaid, that cut in Medicare, that cut in Social Security, that cut in all of these different safety nets, Donald Trump supporters need to realize something. That cut in Medicaid, these cuts and all of these, social safety nets you've been relying on, the Republican Party has been running on that for years, and you've always known. You've always known. It's just they always knew better than to actually deliver. But now, they can deliver, and they're never leaving. Donald Trump can refuse to leave office. I don't know if you paid attention to the Supreme Court ruling, but Donald Trump can commit any crime with the powers of the office of the presidency, and it is considered an official act. Meaning, he can just decide, I'm not leaving. And he can use the military to prevent his actual transition of power. Donald Trump supporters need to realize this. The Republican Party has never cared about you. They utilize issues that you're passionate about, like the border, culture war. They take these things and laser focus them into your eyes. They make sure it's the only thing you see. They make sure to use that as the trap to reel you in. Then they have you hook, line, and sinker, voting for things that destroy your personal life. They have you all voting against the Affordable Care Act by nicknaming it Obamacare. They have you voting for politicians who refuse to send you hurricane aid and then lie on social media and claim Joe Biden did that. They have you voting for politicians who are now currently cutting social safety nets that American citizens need. After all that talk about no more money to Ukraine, money for the American people, there's no money for you. There's money for the rich. There's money for Elon Musk. There's money for Donald Trump. There's money for their billionaire friends, but no money for you, the average everyday American. But I will say this much. You weren't hoodwinked. You weren't duped. These people have been telling you for years they don't believe in these things. Welfare queen this, bootstraps that. They've been sprinkling this nonsense into your minds for decades. And that is why you voted for it. You can pretend to be flabbergasted, shocked, surprised, beyond belief. Anyone who's been paying attention to politics over the last 20 to 30 years knows that you all know. You've always known. You just didn't think it would happen to you. And that's the reality of it. You thought it would happen to everyone else. You were wrong. Trump supporters are not going to admit that they're wrong. They're not going to admit that they fucked up. They're going to sit there and shift blame for as long as they can. And eventually, they're going to get mad at the Republican Party. And I can guarantee you, in order for Trump to maintain his power, him and Elon Musk will shove people like Mike Johnson off a cliff. They'll betray people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Once Americans realize where all of these problems are coming from, you'll really start to see the dictator in Trump. Once his own base is incapable of shifting blame. I know people keep saying, oh, they'll just blame Biden. They can't. They can't. They can try, but it just won't work. See, the mistake Trump made is constantly signing all these papers as soon as he got in. All those executive orders, it creates the image that Trump is in charge of everything. It makes this image that Trump is the one causing everything, which he is. See, he made the mistake of projecting this idea of I am in charge. I am above the courts. I am above Congress. He made that mistake. And they will not be able to blame anybody besides Trump. I can guarantee you this. Donald Trump and his friends have miscalculated. They have.